everybody. Welcome to Randy Sands and the Mediumship Crew. Tonight, we're doing kind of a pop-up topic. Jack kind of was interested in this topic, and we kind of thought it'd be a good idea. So, Jack, you want to talk? You want to talk, Jack?
Hold on, I have to monitor the Facebook.
Well, you still got to talk them up, Jack. Be a good idea.
Oh, wait.
So, Jack, you want to talk? Shh. Now you're playing the live instead of talking the good people up.
Hi, good people. Okay, so the topic is how to be your, tell me if I have this right, how to be your authentic self.
Spiritual self.
How to be your authentic spiritual self during chaos, is that?
That's good enough, Jack.
How to just be yourself authentically and spiritually.
Okay, so why'd you want to do this one?
I wanted to do this topic because there have been some issues raised recently. So, I've been talking to some people and they've had some issues. I believe you may have had some issues. And actually, like, it's kind of a topic that's near and dear to my heart anyway, because I think it's important that you be who you are all the time. So,
well, you can't be somebody else. That's not going to work very well.
Well, yes, you can.
No, you really can't.
Yeah, yes, you can.
Because you don't have their DNA. No, I'm joking. Okay. So, yes, I have had a couple things pop up, and I thought it was a good idea. Because what I've noticed is, during chaos, it's kind of hard sometimes to stay in our own lane. And then I've had a couple situations recently where I didn't agree with somebody. That doesn't mean that...
You didn't agree with somebody?
No, I didn't. But that doesn't mean that they're not free to have their opinion. But apparently I wasn't free to have mine. So, they said some pretty nasty things and attacked my spiritualism. And, if we question somebody else's spiritualism, then, we have to remember, if we point a finger, we have three pointing back. And if we're questioning somebody else's spiritualism, then maybe we need to be questioning our own. Maybe. So I thought it would be great to pull everybody in and kind of hear everybody's thoughts and kind of discuss it. So guys, the floor is open.
Discuss away.
Don't everybody jump at once.
We have nothing to say on this topic, so let's pick a new one.
Good night, everybody. Good night, good people.
Well, if you guys would just be quiet for a second, one of us could jump in here.
Jeez.
So, how do you stay grounded in all of this chaos and not get yourself caught in to conflict? And it's really, really hard. And it's not an easy thing to do. And we all slip, right? So what we have to remember is to give ourselves a little bit of grace and saying, okay, well, I had a human moment, and move forward. I know that I try and be really authentic with what I am and who I am and with others. And I try really hard, not always easy because I am human, to stay out of judgment. When I find myself judging somebody else, I'm kind of looking at, okay, what is in them that's triggering me, and what do I need to heal within myself? Okay, that's the perfect spiritual journey, what you want to do. I can tell you that I have gone off the deep end with people and not done that. And I can tell you that from experience, it doesn't go all that great. In fact, it's awful. So that's where I'm trying to always be understanding. And that's your spiritual growth, is when you understand something and that it triggers you and you don't respond the same way the next time it happens, that's a win on your side. And I think that what we all have to remember is that we're human and that we have these moments and that we have these feelings, and we should just acknowledge them and move past them and not beat ourselves up when we have those slips. I don't know. Stacy, what do you think? I'm throwing it to Stacy.
Yeah, throw it.
Hot potato, hot potato.
I'll catch it. Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's just a lot involved in that. I mean, with what you were saying, I agree. You know, like the only thing we can change is ourselves, right? Like, you know, it's the choices we make within ourselves. As much as you might not like someone, you can't change who they are. You can only change how you respond to them. I think that's probably the most difficult. You know, that's the other thing. I guess first, to be your authentic self, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to be able to be sad sometimes. You have to be able to struggle sometimes. You have to be able to be blissful sometimes. Like, you have to have this, like, be kind to yourself, because I think we're always unfolding who we are, you know, day by day. So we do have to. The issue I have, like you, Colleen, well, I'm sure like Randy and Jack too, is when that is something I'm passionate about, such as maybe my choice of religion, or, you know, there's something that I'm like hold near and dear. I stand in that
How
truth.
about ice cream? Why don't we talk about it in terms of ice cream?
Okay, yes. Yes. Okay, ice cream. So like
31 flavors.
but like if all of a sudden someone was going to pick on my favorite flavor of ice cream, I sometimes feel this need to defend my truth.
Defend your rocky road.
Exactly. Maybe I haven't tried the Jerry Garcia, so I don't really have an opinion about that, but don't you trash my rocky road. Knowing that the rocky road is only mine and maybe a handful of others, you know, and it might not be Randy's. And so you have to respect Randy's opinion. And then I always go to what my grandmother used to say. If you have nothing nice to say about anyone, you say nothing at all.
Oh, my grandmother said, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me.
There you go. Well, they do say silence is an answer.
No response is a response.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult and it's challenging, especially because so much of it is how do I say that? Not so much of it, but we allow the outside to affect us inside, which is probably boundaries and barriers, maybe. Not barriers, that's not a good word, because then you don't want to like build up a brick wall. But
I think a lot of times we don't allow ourselves a minute to kind of take it in and think about it before we react to it. And I think that's where we get in trouble.
You know, I also have to say, just because I think you have to trust natural law and spiritual laws, you know, knowing that karma is going to come around. Maybe you're not going to be able to witness it, but why are you wanting to witness it? For the pleasure of watching somebody else be righted, you know, or you just trust that karma will take care of it, especially in this world of a lot of people judging other people. When it comes to, like Colleen said, judgment, we're quick to be, I say it too, I mean, I'm totally guilty, especially get me behind a car and on a freeway. I have so much karma. I'll probably have to drive like for 5,000 years Uber and Spirit for all of like the penance of my road rage.
Boy, Randy, you're in trouble.
Me?
Yeah,
Why am I in trouble?
because you have road
Never-
issues.
Oh, not anymore. No,
Okay.
I pretty much got over that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, no. I only have to drive for 2,000.
I, I hear that honking on the other side of that.
Well, I'm not going to let somebody come in and, you know, just take me out without a warrant, you know, like, hey, hello, I'm here.
Sometimes the use of the horn is the correct thing to do in the time.
Well, we got to communicate, you know, like a beep. That's like, hey, the light changed. It's time to go. And beep beep is like, hey, you know, look up. And like beep is like you're being a jerk. You know, there's
What I hear.
horn
That's-
communication.
I hear
Yeah.
that.
So look at, so here's my thoughts on it. So I'll kind of talk about a little bit about what happened with me personally the other day. So I had put up on my Facebook something about COVID, and pretty much everybody was in agreement except two people came in on my page and were being like pretty aggressive. And all I said is you go with the science and prove it and this. And I said, listen, it's not my job to educate you because the reality is it's available. The information is available. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to. And if you have, you already disagree with it, which is fine. But I'm not going to go giving you information that you're just going to use to try to debate. So then I was told that I was dehumanizing, which I think all of you that know me know that that's not me. And that I'm not authentic spiritually. Well, that's a judgment. And if we're making that judgment, then like I said, if you have a finger pointing, then you have three pointing back. And none of us are perfect. We all have our moments. So I asked them nicely, you know, to just kind of move on. And that wasn't good either. You know, so a moment of growth, because we all have them, thank goodness. I prefer to have as many as I can. I realized that they were, you know, that they were in their slip, just like I've been in mine, and I will be going forward because it's just the way it is. That's how we grow. And I chose to disengage. Instead of coming back and being defensive or what have you, I just disengaged. And it was the best thing that, you know, I could have done, I think, at the time. And, you know, do I always pick the high road? No, because while I'm a spiritual being, I'm still having a human experience. And I try to as much as I can, but every once in a while somebody, you know, comes along and your trigger gets pulled and, you know, you kind of jump off that high diving board head first before you realize it. And then, you know, the key in my mind is when you do that is to acknowledge it, take note of it, and take responsibility and apologize when it's warranted. You know, I have some pretty good Facebook friends that, you know, we started off, like, for example, Adam Bernstein. We started off having a little conflict, but we worked at it and we kept talking, and now we're friends. And I think it's a good thing when we can work through it without, you know, just tossing people aside. Because the reality is, we're all cut from the same cloth and made by the same creator. So those are my feelings.
Amen.
And now we go to sleep.
No, no, I was just like digesting everything because that's really the hardest part. Being your authentic self is difficult work. That's it, period. It's not necessarily easy because we are continually changing. You know, we're changing, like you said, you were taking higher roads that maybe 10 years ago, Randy would have never taken.
Oh,
know?
2 years, 6 months ago, you know, you
Sure.
never know because you don't know when a particular trigger is going to get pulled.
Right.
You know, and I think as far as being our authentic selves, I think you have to be fearless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not always easy. Just like those of us that are mediums, you know, coming out about our mediumship abilities, you know, it's like well, I'm lucky I came from gay parents because that's a closet I never had to come out of. Otherwise, I would have had to have come out of 2 closets in my lifetime. Yeah,
Like a closet.
yeah, you know. But you know, if you're fearless, if you trust spirit and you trust yourself, then you can stand in your truth of who you are. And that who you are is going to evolve. So that who you are today may not be who you are next year or the year after, because we expand and we grow, but we can stand in our truth of who we are right now and be fearless in it. I mean, it takes some work, but we can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, I like it. It is. It is. I think that that's that you just kind of really touched on the key thing. Do you know what I mean? I think the energetic world, let's just say that right now, because I don't know how else to say it. It's not just about ice cream, it's about everything. The energetic world is kind of, you know, trying to move out of fear and move into the openness, the space of love and acceptance and tolerance. So I think because we're shifting in that, then you can hopefully draw some of the power of that, because it's true. I mean, we really are limitless beings. That's what you can research from, I don't even know, Neanderthals till now, the whole idea of communication with the other side, or, you know, the universal dimensions, or whatever you want to call it, has always kind of, one of the underlying messages has been to do not live in the vibration of fear, because it's one of the lowest vibrations there is. And they keep telling us that, you know, God or source or universe, whatever you want to use, is the highest vibration of love. So we can't get and shift to love if we're still playing in the sandbox with fear.
Well, I do a lot when I talk about things like this. I talk about fear and faith. They're the same thing, different outcomes. Faith is good, fear is bad. And it kind of protects us. When we were in the Neanderthal, fear was real important in our life because it kept us safe. Now we don't need to be as safe, and we haven't learned to shed the instinct to hold on to that fear and to shed it and move forward.
Hey, if that's the
And
case,
those of us,
oh, I'm sorry.
go on.
No, go ahead.
And it's and in that case, that when you shed the fear, it's not that you don't feel it, it's that you push through it. And when you push through it, you have breakthroughs, and you grow. And a lot of people are afraid of that growth because they don't know what it's going to look like at the end. And the hardest thing to do is let go of that and say, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be, and move forward.
Well, and a lot of
Hey,
people are just afraid of the pain that goes with it, because let's face it, it's never easy, and it's usually always painful, but on some level, but that's the only way you get to the other side.
well, I just want to point out, Colleen, if that's true, then I must be doing really, really good. I must be passing all my spiritual tests because my 23andMe DNA came back that I'm 56% Neanderthal.
Good God.
Okay.
That's what I said. I'm like, what?
I didn't even know that was like a DNA thing, Neanderthal.
Neither did I. I was like really kind of
I think
like
that's what they do
appalled.
when they have like the mystery DNA.
We don't know what
Right.
she is, so we're going to call her D.
We'll just call it Neanderthal.
I was like a little bit more than slightly offended when I read that. But, the other thing is thoughts are prayers. So if you have fear, those are your thoughts. And your greatest fear will come. It absolutely will come. And Eleanor Roosevelt had an amazing quote, and I don't remember it word for word, but it had to do with what you said, Colleen, looking fear in the face. And I've always loved that quote. So it's amazing to me that I can never actually remember it word for word. But it's what you said, it's pushing through it. It's saying, you know what, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it anyways. Or, I'm afraid, but I'm not going to think about it. Or, and sometimes to get through fear, you got to fake it till you make it.
And it's not having this Pollyanna attitude towards life. It's real concrete decisions that life is good. I've been working on this talk for this weekend. On Sunday, I'm speaking, and I found that I'm speaking about joy, right? And the importance of joy and how you feel it in concert with sorrow, happiness and sadness, joy and sorrow, they all are paired off. And a lot of times what we forget to do, excuse me, kitty cat. My cat is into everything. So spray bottle, greatest thing. But joy, sorrow, we feel, when you feel great joy, you also feel the depth of sorrow. And that's what time gives you, is you feel all of these emotions. And I feel that I'm at a point in my life that joy is more important than anything else. Because when you feel joy, you're in a place to receive and be happy and whatnot. There's a story about the Dalai Lama who said that he basically said that they always are laughing, right? There's always great laughter around all of the Buddhist monks, and they're always fits of giggles. And the Dalai Lama at one point said the reason that is because when you're laughing, you're more likely to learn something. And so, yes, there are horrible things going on in your life. And yes, there are things that aren't going great in the world. But every day we should strive for joy. Even if it's a matter of sitting down and having dinner with your significant other or your family, or it's that you worked in your garden or you did something, right? If you surround yourself with joy, then it puts you in a position that you're not fearful because you're not feeling sadness. So I know I'm pontificating today.
I like it. I was just gonna add too to what Randy said about like kind of falling down. Isn't there like a quote? Because I feel like I'm hearing it in my head, but you know, it's like success is falling down and getting back up. Failure is falling down and not getting back up. So, I mean, I think, you know, we have to be kind to ourselves and be true to ourselves. And sometimes we're going to lose ourselves, right? Through transformation. Like when we start to unfold or shed one aspect of ourselves, we're going to feel lost. Like Jack said, it's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but I think like what Colleen's saying is if we can tap into our spiritual self, like maybe at those moments we need to take more time to do stuff that, you know, brings us joy or at least brings us a sense of peace. I think any of those higher vibrational emotions or feelings that we have allow us to be open to learning or experiencing or trying new things because we're not coming from this place of uncertainty or, you know, fear or unworthiness or whatever it is, you know. So the higher the vibration, the more we learn or the more we're open to, maybe that's it, you know. And like Randy with, you know, some of your, you know, like the whole, like if people are only this, like they're only looking at the road in front of them and they're not seeing all the side streets, you know. And I'm not saying to stare in the back of your rear view mirror looking at your past either, but you know, sometimes it's okay to glance back there and see how far you've come.
Absolutely. I do it all the time because it just amazes me. And it gives me the motivation to keep putting the effort to move forward when I look in the mirror, looking back. But I don't spend ungodly amounts of time doing that either. I use it like a reflection. And, you know, Colleen, I agree because I believe that we were created to be like little kids going to Disneyland for the first time. Everything is just amazing and it's wonderful and it's magical. And, you know, it's just a world you want to be in, right? And, you know, SSK, when you were talking about falling down, what came to my mind was Les Brown. When you fall and you're laying on your back, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So don't be afraid to fall. But let's talk about how we can maintain our authentic spiritual self, because right now we have the COVID issues, we've got the political issues. Hey, you go, get go. We have COVID, we've got the political issues, we've got other things going on. And, you know, it's really easy for our buttons to get pushed and us to lose our minds. So, what I'd like to do is kind of do like a round table and we can go through what we do. So, I go to the beach a lot. I'm blessed to live in South Florida. You know, with COVID and a surgery I had, I put on weight. So, you know, I'm back in the gym, gym, back swimming, taking that off. Listen to music that makes you happy. Get out in nature, meditate, pray. You know, there's a lot of things that we can do that can take us out of there. And we can also limit our social media and limit our TV. You know, because I can be off social media all day and I can go on and I can guarantee you in less than 5 minutes, I can see a post that's like, what? Really? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So Jack's laughing because I'll tell her, Jack, really? Are you kidding? Who does that? Who says it? And then I'm like, wait, I got to walk away. You know, so it takes less than 5 minutes for it to happen.
Well, I find that I need to disconnect and disengage from it all. And maybe so I don't watch TV per se, but I will get on Netflix and I'll binge watch something that gives me joy. And and when I'm doing that, I have been crocheting. So I'm creating something while I do that. And I think that anytime you can create something, that's a really good thing. So that's why you'll see on my Instagram all the things that I'm cooking. Randy, you ask me all the time, what's for dinner tonight? Mm-hmm. Because it gives me joy, and it puts me in a place that makes me happy, and it's something that I can control. I can't control social media. I can't control the idiots that are out there. And I've had people troll me on Facebook and it go very bad. And I'm like, well, what do I do with this, right? How do I respond to an idiot? And my response had to be finally is to delete them, because I can't have that energy. And my circle has gotten a lot smaller on social media. Not only am I limiting how much social media I consume, the number of people that I am connected to has significantly gone down, because I can't take all of the people that are negative. It's too much on my soul. So, but definitely creating and doing something that you can do for somebody else, that's kind of a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. SSK?
Okay. Well, I have to agree with so my social media is more, I've decided to like start to follow all kinds of just fun groups, like Watch Cats Smile. I love old houses, funny planters, whatever. Like, so I try to make my newsfeed be more of things that would bring me joy or laughter. Absolutely. I try not to take so much personal either, because a lot of times there is, this thing like, oh my God, do you think they're talking about me? Like, oh my God, like, oh no, what did I do wrong? Or something like that. So I try not to take things personally. And I do that by asking myself, like, am I feeling this or am I feeling this? So is it coming from outside or is it coming from inside? Because a lot of times it's not the inside, it's more of the outside. So I do a lot of that. And, I like both, like what Randy and Colleen have both said, I love being outside when it's nice. It was 71 today in Wisconsin, by the way. So I sat on my porch and then I watched my cat sit on my porch and watch all the birds on the feeder. Like, I don't know, that was kind of stalkish, but it was funny. The bird.
You're lucky you didn't freeze to death.
71.
You poor thing.
Oh God, Randy, that's right. 71.
It was 72 here in Rochester. It's going to be in the 70s until Wednesday.
You all are lucky you didn't freeze to death.
Beautiful.
You poor things.
And you know what just popped in my head on a serious note is when I can't get myself out of something, I rely on my friends. I ask for help. Yep. And so like you find those people that you can be the most vulnerable with, and you just say, okay, today sucks. Like I'm not having it. So I need you to hold space for me, and I think that type of connectivity is kind of what we're missing with all of this going on, with COVID and all of this. We're all a little bit more detached, and thank goodness for social media and Zoom that we can stay connected, but there's this missingness you know, so of this like intimate relationship. So I definitely say take time to find your friends, you
And
know,
it's,
connect in with them.
I tell all my students, all my mediumship students, that it's really important to have a spiritual support system where you have like-minded people, and those are the people, like you said, when you're having a bad day, you call up and you say, hey, you know, I'm just not feeling my best energetic self today. I need you to talk to me for a few minutes. If you know, do you have time?
Mhm.
And what they do for me, I do for them. And it keeps us all on a, you know, kind of on a certain upward vibration.
Right.
And before we go to Jack, I will tell you another thing that I like to do is I've been taking this chaotic time and I've been learning stuff. Jack will tell you, I've learned so much technology. YouTube is just amazing. Just amazing. The things you can learn. Oh, who knew? Mm-mm-mm. I swear I got a 5-year
Okay,
degree in 3 weeks.
Jack, what do you think on this? You've been very quiet.
Uh, what do you mean? What do I think on what I do not to get myself out of it?
How to stay your authentic self during chaos.
Um, my big thing, like I said earlier, um, is just to try not to have a knee jerk reaction to stuff, and kind of um take time to kind of think about why, if I do have a knee jerk reaction to it, why I'm having it. Because generally it doesn't have anything to do with the thing, whatever it is. I have learned that it usually has something to do with me, not whatever the thing is that's got me upset. Um, and the other thing is, um, I go out in nature a lot when I need to. Um, and working with animals every day is, I think, a big help. But I think it's nice too when if you surround yourself with the right people, they'll know when you're off. So a lot of times you don't even have to ask for help, because they'll know right away, as soon as if you're not showing up, if you show up differently than you normally show up, they'll notice and ask you about it. Um, Randy did that as soon as I came in here tonight.
She was breathing different.
Yeah. I don't breathe like that all the time.
Listen, this is PG.
I could have been running, gutterhead.
No, I'm talking about your heavy breathing right now. This is PG environment.
Do I run on a regular basis?
And I will tell you guys, Jack does not have knee-jerk reactions. Jack, I don't think even has knees when it comes to that. I'm the one with the jerky legs. And that's why we work well together, because we kind of even each other out.
Devil's advocate.
Well, I'm Polish and Irish, so either the Polish gets me or the Irish. But I have a long fuse, but when it goes, it goes.
You get mad and drink. Is that what you're saying?
No.
All right. Well, I think we covered a lot. Does anybody have anything else they want to say in closing?
Be kind to yourself.
Yes. If
be kind to others.
Yes, because we are going to have slips. And in my mind, the key is to use it for growth and don't use it to beat yourself up. And when it comes to others, just remember we're all cut from the same cloth. I don't care what color, what religion, what part of the world you come from. I don't care. We're all cut from the same cloth. I'm having trouble speaking tonight. And we all come from the same creator.
Mhm.
You know, that doesn't mean we all have to resonate with each other. If you find that there's an energy you don't resonate with, just separate yourself from it. But we don't have to be nasty if we can help it. I mean, sometimes it's going to happen, a trigger's going to get pushed, but if we can help it, just walk away. There's enough going on out there. We don't need that too.
Yeah,
We
don't
don't.
be personal.
Yeah, if you don't resonate with it, just walk away if you can. Do your best.
And if you
And-
can't, I would go with Jack and say, practice the pause. You know, try not to react right away. Pause for a minute, you know, take a moment, reflect and
That's all
pause.
Jack has.
I got lots of moments.
All Jack has is pause.
I'm Italian. I don't even have a fuse. I'm on fire all the time. So it's like, I don't know. I need to practice the pause.
I don't know where the pause came from.
Yeah, you know, take a deep breath, step back,
I just
think before you react.
I've been lucky enough to be born with the pause.
Oh, you were born with like 3 or 4 pause buttons. It just amazes me. I'm like, Jack, really? What do you think we need to do, Jack? Oh, I don't know. It makes me crazy. I don't know. Really? Really? You don't know? We're like the odd couple. And no, we're not a couple. Okay, so Monday, we are going to.
Monday.
Monday is SSK's punishment night because they were making fun of me. So, SSK, do you want to talk about Monday?
I'm totally excited. I want you all to wear your barrettes.
That's not how you should start off when it's your punishment night.
I'm very excited. So everyone come with barrettes. I plan on 2 because the challenge so wonderfully accepted was to find a pioneer who wore barrettes.
A spiritualist pioneer.
And I found one, and she's one of my favorites. And she even I'll have her, so she'll be here with us. Well, not like, you know, materialized or anything, but she'll be here with a picture with a barrette in her hair. So we're going to talk about Mercy. I always say her last name wrong, so it's Cadwallader. That's how it is. So she was from Pennsylvania, the PA.
Pennsylvania.
So yeah, Monday we're going to talk about her, talk about being authentic self. She stood in her truth, known as the Animated Encyclopedia of Spiritualism. Tirelessly countless hours. So yes, and a barrette wearer. So we're super excited. Randy, you're wearing your barrette?
No, I don't wear barrettes. I do not wear barrettes. And just my hair will be long enough just here in a minute, you know. Just
Not
pray
by
for me.
Monday. Not by Monday.
Just pray for my hair.
Send Randy barrettes.
No, just save your money.
You just
Save
need
your
one.
money.
You just need one, like
One
right.
barrette, like right.
Yeah.
I could tell you what y'all need, but it wouldn't be very spiritual.
Well, if you want, you can have a bigger one too. I have a bigger one.
And then you need to
No.
practice the pause.
I just did.
See, I keep them on my desk, so I need them.
I just did, Jack.
Practice the pause. Practice the pause.
All right. So I think we've pretty much covered a lot. I
Yeah,
think it might be time to say goodnight to all the good people.
Good night, good people.
Oh, Jack said good night. Good night,
Yes,
everybody.
good night.
We hope to see you on Monday, 8 o'clock.
Eastern
Yes,
Standard.
yes. And we'll do it on the same page. I'll put it onto the mediumship page after. It'll be easier for everybody.
We'll be
All
back.
right. Good night, good night, good night.
Good night.